Two people can walk through the exact same room, hear the exact same conversation, read the exact same headline, and walk away with completely different lives because of it. One sees nothing, just noise, just another ordinary moment passing by. The other sees an opening, a door quietly swinging on its hinge, and they walk through it while everyone else keeps scrolling past. This isn't luck, and it isn't some rare gift handed to a chosen few at birth. It's a way of seeing that can be built deliberately once you understand what's actually happening inside the mind of someone who seems to find opportunity wherever they go. I've spent a long time studying the difference between people who feel like life keeps giving them chances and people who feel like life keeps passing them by. And I can tell you the difference has almost nothing to do with the amount of opportunity actually available to them. It has everything to do with how their mind is trained to filter what's in front of them. Today, I want to walk you through exactly what that filter looks like, piece by piece, so you can start building it in yourself. Section 1. Opportunity isn't rare, attention is. The first thing you have to understand is that opportunity is not scarce. It never has been. What's scarce is the attention capable of noticing it. Every single day you are surrounded by information, conversations, small shifts in the world around you. And buried inside that constant stream are openings that could genuinely change the direction of your life. Most of it passes through us completely unnoticed, not because it wasn't there, but because our attention was already occupied elsewhere, usually by worry, by distraction, or by a mind so busy replaying the past or rehearsing the future that it has no room left to actually observe the present. The people who seem to attract opportunity aren't seeing more of it than everyone else. They're simply present enough to catch what's already there. Their attention isn't fragmented into a dozen directions. It's available, alert, and specifically tuned to notice things that matter. That tuning is not accidental. It's the result of a mind that has been trained, sometimes through hardship and sometimes through deliberate practice, to stay in contact with what's actually happening instead of drifting through life half asleep. Section 2. They see problems as raw material. Here's something that separates opportunity seers from everyone else in a way that surprises people the first time they hear it. When they encounter a problem, something broken, something inefficient, something that frustrates everyone around them, they don't just feel the frustration and move on the way most people do. Somewhere in their mind, almost automatically, the problem gets translated into a question: what would it take to fix this? That single shift in framing changes everything. A frustration that most people would simply endure or complain about becomes, in their mind, raw material. Nearly every meaningful opportunity in history started exactly this way, as an ordinary annoyance that most people accepted as unchangeable, until someone looked at it and asked a different question. This isn't about having some special genius for solving problems. It's about refusing to let irritation be the end of the thought. Most people stop at the complaint. Opportunity seers treat the complaint as the starting line. Section 3. They trust movement over certainty. One of the biggest differences I've noticed is how these people relate to uncertainty. Most people wait for clarity before they act. They want to know the outcome is likely to work before they're willing to invest energy into it. But real opportunity almost never arrives with a guarantee attached. It arrives looking uncertain, sometimes even looking like a mistake, and the people who catch it aren't the ones with more certainty than everyone else. They're the ones more willing to move without it. They understand something the rest of us often miss: that clarity frequently comes after action, not before it. You don't think your way into knowing if something will work. You often have to move first, gather real information from the world instead of speculation from your own head, and let that information guide the next step. This is uncomfortable for a mind that's been trained to demand certainty before committing to anything, but opportunity has a short shelf life. While one person is still waiting to feel sure, another person has already taken the first step and learned something the waiting person will never learn from the sidelines. Section 4. They build the habit of asking a different question. There's a specific mental habit I've noticed in almost every person who consistently finds opportunity, and it's remarkably simple once you see it. When most people encounter something new, a piece of information, a trend, a shift in their industry, their instinctive question is, does this affect me? It's a passive question, one that puts them in the position of a bystander waiting to find out if the wave is going to reach their feet. Opportunity seers ask a completely different question almost automatically. What could I build with this? That single shift moves them from observer to participant before they've even consciously decided to act. It's not that they're smarter or have access to better information. In most cases, they're looking at the exact same news, the exact same conversations, the exact same industry shifts as everyone else. The difference is entirely in the question their mind defaults to asking. And because that question gets asked instinctively without needing to be consciously summoned every single time, it functions almost like a reflex. Catching possibilities the passive mind simply scrolls right past. Section 5. Why noise has made this harder than ever. This skill has become more important and honestly more difficult than it's ever been. We now live surrounded by systems designed to predict what will keep our attention rather than what will actually serve it. Feeds and algorithms built to keep you reacting instead of observing. To keep you consuming instead of noticing. The constant stream of content competing for your focus doesn't just waste time, it actively trains your attention to skim rather than settle, to react rather than reflect. In a world increasingly shaped by artificial systems doing the thinking, scrolling, and deciding for you, the ability to actually pause, notice, and ask your own original question about what's in front of you has quietly become one of the rarest and most valuable skills a person can have. The people who will keep finding real opportunity in the years ahead won't be the ones consuming the most information. They'll be the ones who have protected their own capacity to notice, to think an original thought before the algorithm hands them a manufactured one. Section 6. The discomfort most people avoid. There's one more piece to this that doesn't get talked about enough, and it's the willingness to sit in discomfort long enough to actually think. Genuine noticing, the kind that leads to real opportunity, requires a level of stillness that most people actively avoid, because stillness lets uncomfortable feelings surface, boredom, uncertainty. Even a quiet kind of anxiety about not knowing what's next. Most people fill that discomfort immediately with their phone, with distraction, with anything that lets them avoid sitting with an unanswered question. But opportunity often lives exactly inside that discomfort, in the space between not knowing and figuring it out. The people who consistently find what others miss have simply built a higher tolerance for that in-between state. They can sit with an open question without needing to immediately resolve it, and it's precisely in that patient, uncomfortable space that the mind starts making connections it never would have made if it had rushed straight past the discomfort toward something easier. Closing, seeing what was already there. What I want you to take from all of this is that opportunity was never the rare part. It's been all around you the entire time, in every frustration you've quietly accepted, every uncertain step you've hesitated to take. Every piece of information you've consumed without asking what you could actually build from it. The people who seem to have more luck than everyone else have simply trained their mind to stay present, to turn problems into questions, to move before certainty arrives, and to protect their own attention in a world working hard to steal it. None of that requires a different set of circumstances than the ones you already have. It requires a different way of meeting the exact life you're already living. Start paying attention not to more things but more closely to the things already in front of you, and you'll begin to notice something that was true the entire time. The opportunities were never missing. You were simply the one who hadn't learned yet how to see them.